and we were like thinking, oh, maybe we can go see a movie. And the dad was something like, I can do that in the US. You guys are going to be here longer, so it doesn't matter to you as much. But we're only here for a certain amount of time. So, that something like that only comes with being there.
This is Worldschooling Q&A. I'm Astrid, creator of The Wandering Daughter. As a traveling family, we've spent 4 years traveling full-time to over 18 countries and 6 continents. Wherever we go, we try to learn as much as we can about the countries and cultures we visit. While we didn't coin the term, we like to call this worldschooling, using the world as our classroom. Each week, my husband Clint and I will answer one question about worldschooling and share our experiences of traveling the world with our kids. Ready to get started? Great! Let's dive in. For this week, we're answering the question of how do I manage work-life balance while worldschooling?
Yeah, this is a great topic because it's something that is very near and dear to us. And
Yeah, mental health is so important, right?
Yeah, we've carried that actually even now that we're not traveling as much in our day-to-day lives. So what would be the first thing you would say?
Well, first I'd offer that, I write about this a lot on my website. There's an article that I have that is called What Life is Like for a Digital Nomad Family, and we cover the work-life balance aspect there. And then I also have an article about just the realities of traveling full-time and things to consider if you're planning on doing digital nomad type of lifestyle. So beyond that, I think the first thing that you as a family need to figure out is just defining what your priorities are. I mean, this is so important to just whether you're at home or whether you're traveling, what is important for you to keep, because we're not going to be able to do it all. What is the most important thing for you?
What are just a couple examples of priorities for us that we've chosen over the past?
I think one of the priorities is just being able to spend quality time together. So doing activities that allow us to spend time together. I found that we end up feeling out of sync when there's a lot of activities that pull us apart from each other. And so sometimes we'll intentionally just go and do something together as a family. But what else do you think is our family values or priorities?
I think also recognizing that we as a family need social interaction, but we also need those kind of recovery time. So we'll go through moments of intense social interaction over the course of multiple days or weeks potentially, and then we'll retreat and we'll do travel time where it's just us as a family.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the we prioritize.
Yeah. So we traveled full time from 2018 to 2022. And like what Clint mentioned, we would have, I feel like our socialization would come in cycles. We'd have periods where it's a month of just we're in a location where there's a lot of other traveling families, and that's what we do. We meet up with families, a couple times a week or sometimes every day. There's something going on. We're always going, and then we'll follow that with just a month of retreat of just us hanging out with us, being in a location where we're just doing things as a family unit and not so much with other families. So it's really that's a key component of us finding just balance in general.
Yeah.
What about the schedules and stuff?
Yeah, I think to extend off that, with our schedules, one of the things that we do very intentionally now is we make sure we plan down days. And I think that's critical to that recovery period, to that kind of reconnecting and not feeling overwhelmed. So if we'll go do an activity, say in a week, we know we're going to do 3 activities. We'll make sure that there's 3 or 4 days of down days in there too.
Kind of interspersed among those activities. Yeah.
And that really slowing down helps that, because then we're not, if you're only in a place for a week, you feel obligated to fill that as much as possible, right? Well, then you come back and then you're exhausted.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that we're intentional about. Yeah. Talk about slowing down, how also can that help us manage work-life balance?
I think it does is it allows us to find like little moments to do things together. Maybe it's like going to the grocery store together, going
Mhm.
grocery shopping together, or like, we just want to spend an afternoon at the park. Let's just go to the park. Or even having like breakfast at a cafe. That was one of our favorite things to do when we were in Spain is walk down to a cafe and have like, a coffee and tostada breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like going to see movies, that's
Movies, yes.
yeah, that's one of our favorite things to do with while slow travel. And I remember a funny story one time we had met up with a family that was only there for like a week or two, and we were there for a month or more, something like that. And we were like thinking, oh, maybe we can go see a movie. And the dad was something like, I can do that in the US. You guys are gonna be here longer, so it doesn't matter to you as much. But we're only here for a certain amount of time. Can we so that
Yeah.
something like that
Yeah.
only comes with being there, kind of slowing down.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about like the work aspect of like work-life balance? What are some things that you would suggest?
Yeah, I think this ties hand in hand with just like remote work in general. Like, be flexible with your day. There's obviously things when you're in the office, you're not always tied to your desk the whole day. You're kind of getting up, talking to coworkers and stuff like that. So have that flexibility in your schedule as well. I think one of the things that is interesting to us is really make best use of the time zone you're in. So, for example, when we're in Europe and we work for US based customers or US based businesses, it actually works really nicely for us because
Yeah.
we can do stuff all during the day and then start our work day in the late afternoon or early evening and work till midnight or 1 a.m., something like that.
Yeah.
Sleep until 9 a.m., so we're getting full night's sleep. We're able to do stuff during the day, and then we still get our night routine as well.
Yeah.
So that's been nice.
It's possible to do that in like Asia too. I think the time zone is a little trickier because you basically working the graveyard shift. But if you stay up late at night, but then you allow yourself to sleep in and you don't start activities until like noon or something like that, that still gives us a chance to like feel like we're balanced
Yeah.
as well. I think the other thing is if you have like younger kids and it's a little harder to like the schedule works for us because our kids are older now. They're like teens, tweens, teens. But when we were traveling full time, they were a little bit younger.
Mhm.
And even though they were like, you could leave them alone for a few hours, but definitely you needed to have like one parent kind of more present with them,
Mhm.
and so that's a little harder if both parents are working. And what we found was kind of staggering our work hours. So I would work East Coast hours and he would work West Coast hours. And then that allowed one parent to be, with the kids during the morning and then another parent to be with the kids in the afternoon, early evening. And then the middle of the day, when both of us are working, they can just like have their own alone, independent play time or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. I think the only other thing I want to mention was how important communication and your ability to discuss needs and boundaries and being able to do that comfortably within the family. I
Right.
mean, that's just in general world schooling, like general family advice, but I mean, especially
Yeah.
world schooling, you lean heavily, you spend a lot of time with your family and your spouse especially, or your partner. So really working on communication and expressing those needs and boundaries is critical to, I think, maintaining that work-life balance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's it. I think we covered it all.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Worldschooling Q&A with Astrid and Clint. Be sure to check out the show notes for any links we mentioned in the episode and visit my website, thewanderingdaughter.com, to dive deeper into worldschooling and family travel.
If you like what you hear, please consider supporting The Wandering Daughter on Patreon. It really helps us out and keeps the show going. You'll also get exclusive perks like episode transcripts, additional resources, access to office hours with us, and more. You can find us on Spotify or the podcast app of your choice. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can tap the bell icon to get notified when new episodes come out. And if you like this episode, please give us a 5-star review. It really helps new people find our show.
If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and tap the bell icon to get notified of new episodes. You can follow me on Instagram @WanderDaughter or follow The Wandering Daughter on Facebook. Links to these are also in the show notes. If you have any world schooling questions you'd like us to answer for future episodes, feel free to throw them in the comments or send us a message at thewanderingdaughter.com/podcast. Until next time, happy travels!
Bye!